Okay, year 8. So last week we were doing our draft version of our comic. And what we're going to ask you to do this week and over half term is to neaten this up. Now, this might be that you work on top of this one and you just work through each of your squares and you neaten things up, but you might want to redraw it. So when I was thinking about the example that I'm showing you, one of the things that I really liked about the comics from my mood board were these shapes that were a bit more angular rather than everything being rectangular. So I decided to redraw mine out. So if I do each of the pages, this is page number 1, where I say it's hope it's raining. So hopefully you can begin to see the differences. So the first thing that I've done is altered the layout. So with this one, it was rectangular. This one, I drew myself some guidelines. So it's a little bit more interesting rather than it just being square. Some of the shapes I've kept I've kept pretty much the same. I've just neatened them up ever so slightly. But because I changed the angle of things, I've altered the angle of my phone. This got a little bit bigger and I've zoomed in a little bit more on the curtain. And the eyes, I've just made those a little bit smaller because I wanted to put some text in here. And I've planned where the text was going to go before I started doing the drawing. On this one, rather than having the whole view, I just decided because I was looking out of the letterbox, it might be quite nice to see from the inside as if you're looking out the letterbox so you can see the garden. But I've still kept the perspective in there, kept my wellies, but I've added a little bit of text just there at the top. So that's that page. Then the other one, developed this one a little bit further. So again, I wanted the raindrops at the top, so I've made it so it's really filled the shapes, because again, when I was looking at the comics that I really like, they really like the patterns. This links to something called pop art, which is a really well-known style of art, which I think some of you will probably recognise. So patterns and colours in the background are really important, so I wanted to include that. So you need to look at the comics that you're referencing to see what they include. Just altered this one just a little bit, so I've still got the open door, but I wanted to make it look like I was running out a little bit more. Increased my text, and I've still got my wellies about jumping. Neatened up that drawing. I've still got my splash, and then I just altered the angle because I played with the angles again. I've altered the angle of my face, and to help me with that one, because I wanted to look really happy and surprised, I took a photo of myself pulling the expression that I wanted to do just to help me with that, and I've got a little bit more text. So what we'd like you to do next is to come up with your 2 pages drawn out really neatly, just in pencil. We don't want you to add any pen or colour or anything like that at the moment. And then after the half term, we'll go with how we're going to develop this a little bit further. Okay, can't wait to see the comics that you decide to come up with.